I'm Mark Mattson on Wards Island, closely watching the water levels of Lake Ontario because they are starting to rise. Late this afternoon, the Toronto Region Conservation Authority issued a shoreline hazard warning. That means we are at the point where things are going to start to get a little worse. Right now, I'm in an area where 2 years ago, in 2017, all this land was immersed in water, part of the flooding that took place here, and that's why the Toronto Islands were in fact closed off. When we took a moment this afternoon to speak with the Toronto Region Conservation Authority, they told us about what to expect and how quickly it'll happen.
The thing to remember about lake levels is that they are going to rise sharply, but it isn't a matter of hours, right? It's a matter of days and weeks. And so between where we are now and where we might expect to see the peak water level is still a matter of weeks. So it is a slow burn event. The lake itself will continue to remain high for a number of weeks, will continue to rise until it peaks. But then on top of that, every time we get a windstorm, particularly from the south, southeast, southwest direction, then we have wave impacts, which could pose a hazard to public safety.
While some say that plenty has been done, there are others who think that there's still a lot more to do, especially those that make their life's work looking after the water. They say, we're not quite ready yet if this happens again.
I think we've learned that these high water levels can happen, but I don't think we're prepared for them yet. If the water levels reach in the next couple of weeks here on the lake where they were in 2017, I think again we're going to see the streets flooding in Toronto. We're going to see the islands flooded. We're going to see sewage backlog, combined sewer overflows again. People should stay out of the water because it is very contaminated when it floods. The algorithms that we built are saying that, what happened in 2017 only happens once in 100 years. Well, I know just here, since I've been the waterkeeper for the last 20 years, I think we've had 4 or 5 of those 100-year water levels just in that time alone, as well as having some low water levels that were almost beyond prediction. And when the water drops or when it rises, particularly unpredictably like it is now, it causes a lot of damage.
Now, in speaking with some of the residents that live here on Wards Island, they have said over the last couple of days some things have been done, including this very large water pump being installed by the city. As you can see, there is a water well underneath here. They've set up this pump so if the lake levels start to rise, they will start to pump some of that water out and back into the lake over here. This also arrived today. This is potentially going to be a berm to try and keep that water from rising up onto the ground as well. And as you can see right over here, there is in fact some of the sandbags left over from what was here 2 years ago. How all this will help at this point, it remains to be seen. We're not quite sure what will happen. We do know that much more is being done this time around than did happen a couple of years ago when all this was in fact flooded.